Today we're going to break down the process of falling in love with a narcissist into 7 easily identifiable stages so that you can avoid this trap in the future. Before we begin though, I have one disclaimer. As I've dealt with thousands of breakups over the last couple of years, the amount of people that have told me that their ex is a narcissist is astounding. According to the best data we have, about 0.5 to 5% of people in the United States fit the criteria to be diagnosed as someone with narcissistic personality disorder. But some experts like Dr. Ramani say that the number could be closer to 20 or 30% of the population.
Listen, people have asked me to spitball this number, and if we really were liberal with the definition and included all those benign narcissists, we might be closer to 25 to 30%.
I personally don't like this idea. I think that the word narcissist gets thrown around very liberally today and it can dehumanize people. In my opinion, seeing 1 out of every 4 people as unable to feel empathy and only caring about themselves is a darker view of reality than actually exists. So, as we dive into these stages, what we're talking about is actually medically diagnosable narcissistic personality disorder. It's defined by the Mayo Clinic this way. Narcissistic personality disorder is a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about the feelings of others, but behind this mask of extreme confidence, they are not sure of their own self-worth, and they are easily upset by the slightest criticism. Now, most people at different times of their lives are going to exhibit narcissistic traits. They're going to get jealous. They're going to try to control or be manipulative. And that's just what people do as they're emotionally maturing. This is different. Now, with that being said, let's get into the stages. Stage 1 is love bombing. And it's actually defined in the Oxford Dictionary, which is kind of funny to me. I felt like it was more of an Urban Dictionary kind of word, but I guess not. It's defined as the action or practice of lavishing someone with attention or affection, especially in order to influence or manipulate them. In the simplest of terms, they're going to give you more affection than makes sense. They will listen to you, figure out what you most want to hear, and then tell it to you. They will mirror you and then reflect back exactly what you want to see. Do you remember the show The Price is Right? It's a game show that's been running since the 70s in which contestants can win prizes if they can guess the correct prices on different goods and services. Love bombing is like someone seeing you selling a Toyota Corolla and then offering you $1 million for it. Inside, a part of you is going to question the situation. You're going to feel an imbalance in the amount of affection and effort the person's putting in for what you actually deserve, for how much effort you're putting in, and the time you guys have known each other. But at the same time, another part of you is going to be so overjoyed that someone's seeing this much value in you, and you might fall under that spell. You might start to spend more time with this person and less time with the people you usually spend time with, your family and friends. You might start to hear phrases like, "You don't need them, you have me. It's us versus the world, and I've never felt this way about anybody." You might slowly start to feel your guard dropping, and this continues until you finally drop your guard, accept that it's real, and we move on to stage 2. In stage 2, you open up as well. Finally, after weeks or months of this extreme flattery and affection, you drop your guard. You decide that maybe it is real, maybe it's not too good to be true, maybe I really can trust this person. Maybe I finally found this fairy tale romance that I've seen in movies my entire life. Maybe it's all genuine. And when you do that, that's when things change. Stage 3, the mask comes off. At this point, you're all in. And then, almost like a light switch, things change. They start small by toning back the amount of time they spend with you. And then when you start to bring things up, they tell you that you're becoming forgetful or that you're silly. They may start to become jealous about where you're spending your time. And if you bring up that that bothers you, you're the one who's too needy. You're being irrational and you're just being dramatic. They stay out too late and you get worried, so you go out late. And then if you do that, you're hurting them. You're being a bad partner. And you're breaking the trust of the person who loves you the most out of anyone in the world. This continues to escalate until we get to stage 4, which is one of the most common tactics used by narcissists, gaslighting. The term gaslighting comes from a really interesting place. It's a movie from 1944 called Gaslight. In the movie, a woman is manipulated by her husband into believing she's going crazy. At the time this movie's set in, all of the lights in the house are powered by gas. And this gas reservoir is connected throughout the entire house. So if someone were to turn on the light in the attic, then the lights that are already on in like the kitchen and the bedroom would dim because the gas is being used somewhere else. In the movie, the husband says that he's going out with his friends every single night, but secretly he climbs into the attic and turns on the lights. Now, when the wife is walking around the house, she sees that the lights start to dim and assumes that someone else is in the house with her. So she gets really scared. So she brings this up to her husband every night, and then he tells her, it can't possibly be true. You must be imagining that. After weeks of this happening, she does eventually start to believe that she is crazy and that she is imagining it. Modern day gaslighting works in exactly the same way. You might notice something that your partner's doing wrong, or maybe you're noticing that your needs aren't being met completely by your partner, so you bring it up to them. If your partner's a narcissist and they're trying to gaslight you, they're going to tell you that what you're bringing up never happened at all. You're just making something out of nothing. They may say that you have a problem with your memory and that's why you keep remembering things so wrong. Or they may completely shift the topic to something that you did wrong and that hurt them. Because remember, they're the good person. You're the one who keeps being crazy and hurting them. If you've been in this situation long enough, then you're going to move into stage 5, questioning your own reality. You may begin to believe that you really are the bad guy. You really need to work on yourself so you don't keep hurting your perfect partner. So you start going to therapy, you start reading books so that you can improve yourself. You remember how amazing that love bombing first couple of months were, and you blame yourself for ruining the relationship and bringing it so far away from how great that used to be. You try your very best to change and to fix things with your partner to bring back that love bombing time. Your narcissistic partner will tell you, if you really loved me, then you do A, B, and C. And then you change and you actually do those things. And when you come back to them, they tell you that it's not enough. They move the goalpost. And then you do it again. Narcissists do this because it's much easier to control you when you don't think you can trust your own thoughts. This is about how the relationship goes unless you get to stage 6, which is the breakup. There are 2 common reasons why narcissists will initiate a breakup. First, they could get bored. They think that they're better than you. So if they go along and they find something that they deem as shinier, then they might leave you and go for that. The second reason is best stated by psychotherapist and author Chelsea Cole. She says that narcissists also initiate breakups when their partners become too difficult to manipulate or control. A lot of times, if you get healthier, the narcissist will start getting more frustrated with you, she says. The better you get at setting boundaries and knowing your truth and not engaging with them, the more frustrated they get. Now, if you beg and chase them here, they're probably just going to keep running because you're confirming their narrative. You're confirming, yes, you still have control of me. I think that you're better than me. That's why I'm going to continue to chase you. And they want to feel like that. So if that's what you're doing, that's probably just going to be the cycle you stay in. If you find the strength to stop chasing and go more into no contact, then you'll probably enter stage 7. In stage 7, they try to win you back. If you go no contact and start to actually date other people and move on without them, this will hurt their ego. Again, Chelsea Cole says, they work very hard to maintain this view of themselves, that they are the best, that they are the most attractive, that they are the smartest, that everyone would want to be with them. When you break up with them, you're essentially saying, actually, that's not true. And you're not this grandiose person that you want to believe you are. To win you back, they might go back to the beginning, showering you with affection and attention, and you might start to think that your goal of getting back to that love bombing stage is finally in your grasp. But the moment you give in, likely they're going to switch back into victim mode and tell you how much you hurt them by moving on so fast, and that if you really loved them, then you would have been more patient as they figured out their own thoughts. And then you're back to stage 3 and on your way to doubting your reality again. So how can you recognize this pattern quickly so that you don't get stuck in the narcissistic loop? First, remember when we were talking about the Price is Right? The rate at which the relationship begins should make sense. The amount of effort the person you're interested in is putting into the relationship with you should make sense. Do they have other things going on in their life, or did you become the center of their world the moment you walked into it? Second, define your boundaries in dating early. Be more open and honest about what you will and will not tolerate in a relationship. Some people will label you as too much, but that's great. Someone who knows what they want and then asks for it and will not tolerate any less is a repellent for the narcissist that we're talking about in this video. They want someone who won't stand up for what they want because they know that they can control that person by giving them attention. You want to weed these people out. Third, work to create a life that you actually really enjoy. In the last video I made called The Stages of a Breakup, we talked about how to break down your life into manageable chunks that you can design. I'll link that video at the end of this one. The happier you are with your own life, your career, your hobbies, your religion, your family, your friends, the less likely you're going to be to give that entire life to someone you barely know. If you do those three things, you're going to save yourself so much heartache. That's about what I have to say about narcissists. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to keep watching, you can click this next video about the 5 stages most people go through after a breakup.